Okay, 5, 3, go. Okay, I'm recording now. So let's go. Let's do this. Hello, guys. This is a
The
random.
numbers were amazing, bro.
Shut up. Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay, Akti, I'm about to type this person, wonderful lady Akti. Everyone knows her as ENTP/ENTJ, more like ENTP with ENTJ-like qualities. But here I'm about to expose the idea that no, she isn't one
The
because
truth of it.
MBTI is
Yeah.
fake. Like the actual static system is bullshit. and now I'm about to introduce the world to Mr. Chins, the most epic system according to Dan. Uh, Let me just go to the letters. I need to find the letters for the model. So let me just give me like a few, like maybe like 5 seconds.
Sure thing.
Yeah, Mr. Chins. Ridiculous. Okay. I'm wondering for the video if I should elaborate on each part. I guess I should because I'll have to explain to you guys anyway. I will copy text and I will send it to our group chat, and then I will change. Okay, so this is like a very. I also read it when I was shitting. It's semi-elaborations on the facets of the Mr. Chin's model. Am I even recording right now? Yes, I am. So Mr. Chins is an MBTI
Nice.
dynamic MBTI model, quote unquote model, where it allows you to. It makes you type based on specific aspects of your personality instead of one static system. So this is like a summary of each of the models. There are MRCHINS, 7 models. And in the thing you're seeing in the screen right now, it says music taste for model M, but it actually recently got revised into morality. So it's moral attitudes. So now I'm currently going to say that Akti. Oh no, I just edited it right now in the group chat, but I also need to change the freaking music taste. So based on the vibes of your morals instead. Okay. So moral
Actually, quite like
attitudes.
music taste.
I
Like morals is probably
I
better for the
liked it
typing
too.
thing.
I liked it
Yeah.
too. That's the weird thing.
Yeah.
It felt weird removing it. I'm actually thinking of a way to
Yeah.
reintroduce it.
Dude, what if you just had like, what if you had like brackets and you could just throw in whatever fucking letters you want, right?
That's
Or
possible.
some shit like that.
It definitely open to
Yeah.
that idea for sure. And I was thinking about
Yeah.
the problem and the reason I removed the music thing. I think is because it's too like hard to type someone in terms of it. Like and it's also hard to classify at the moment for me like what an MBTI type
Yeah.
for vibes of music is. If I had to type all of us, 3 of us here about music MBTI though, it's probably ENTP. It's just that like even with that elaboration, the only similarities we have like consistently all 3 of us is it's not EDM. I'm not really familiar with like how EDM-y Akti gets. I'm sure she likes a lot of EDM songs, but like with our case,
She
Dan,
does. She likes dance music, like music that she can just fucking actually dance to. So good ass bass, good groove, good vibe.
yeah.
I think that's really her thing for the most part. So she likes gangster music too, because good ass hip hop, good ass gangster music, you can really fucking dance to.
Yep. So
Like, dude, if I were to fucking say music taste for Octi, I would say ESTP. I think ENTP for like ENTP is like variety, like a ton of variety in their music. I think Octi might, but her music taste reminds me of ESTP from what I've heard.
The thing I noticed about the music model is it's really hard and nuanced, hyper nuanced. And not to say everything else isn't nuanced, though. Obviously, a lot of them are nuanced. But with the music thing, it's really hard. I have to like ask really out there weird questions to type someone's music taste. And it just didn't seem as interesting when I thought of moral attitude as a better version. So
I'm all for the weird questions.
no, for sure. And the thing with music taste as well is like Dan, like it's hard for me to like vibe type someone based on it. Like in terms of, for example, what in the world
totally.
is ENTP music? What in the world is ESTP music? I have an idea, but it's
I
not fully
know.
cooked. It's not a
It's
fully
just a
cooked idea.
guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all intuition there.
It's really hard. It's really hard. I like the others where you can actually kind of systematically use cognitive functions or justify it with really interesting TI explanations. So I would love for both of you to, but as I type Octi, like challenge my ideas and see like, wait, what about this thing though? I feel like this would apply to Octi more. I'm all for that. I don't really. I'm not gonna go Adele mode.
What I'll
in this
do?
PC. I'm not gonna go Adele mode where like fuck you, you're ENFP. There's nothing else you can say about it.
What I'll do, man.
Yeah.
What I'll do is I don't want to challenge your ideas right now because Octi's gonna have to fucking go to sleep in probably like an hour or something. So what I'll do is I'll pay attention and see what you guys do, and then if there's shit that I pick up, then I'll
Write
bring it up
notes.
with you like
Can you
later.
write notes about it if it's something
Yeah.
interesting so you can mention it in the future?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Perfect. All right, let's start now with more model M. To note for the YouTube video as well, guys, the elaborations aren't hyper objectively specific, so just take that in mind. A lot of this will require your intuition. You have to work with me with what I'm aiming for in each model. Model M, moral attitudes. Type based on your moral attitudes. So we're gonna type OCTI now. This one's very easy for me. Let me just get the template right now because I need to get the template again, but this time for the actual typing. Model M. I'm gonna go to the group chat. Boom. And then this one's for like, I think this was for John or someone in the servers. I need to remove the letters. I do not have a copy of the no of the empty template, so I'm just gonna delete, and then boom, and then boom, and then boom, and then boom. Okay, so first one, I think Octi's and ENTP for morals. I think there's no one's gonna argue against this. I'm thinking I don't really need to ask your questions, but for I don't know formality or something, I'll just ask her like, Octi. Actually, no, I'll just say why I think she's ENTP in morals, and she can just be like,
Yeah.
answer some confirm or whatever my thoughts. So
Yeah, I
ENTP,
like that.
yeah, people have a idea like a vibe check of idea of what an ENTP is, and I think it perfectly fits people like me and Octi. Actually, even more so me and rather than Dan. I think Dan is an interesting thing because he might come across a certain different way depending on because for example the major and band drama thing that happens like he has a thing where like he wants everyone to get along, everyone needs to get along, I want some and then with me and Octi it's not like that at all. Like Octi and I are like fuck everyone, like I want chaos and drama. Obviously there's limits, we're not going to let people get too harassed, but like the point is we take more liberties and I mean, not to say, I think I'm pretty sure Dan would also, but like, it's like a different flavor where like Akti and I are like all about Joker chaos, society, and then for Dan it's like no, everyone needs to get along. So it's a different flavor, and but of course I'm not. That's maybe oversimplifying Dan. I'm sure Dan has his very ENTP like ways of doing it. Maybe in the background he like trolls people more than like Akti does. It's always possible. Like,
I'll definitely reveal some like later at some point. When you
yeah.
do a Mr. Chins dedicated to me, bro, I'll fucking reveal some deep dark shit. But
Oh
yeah, for
god.
Octi, I think ENTP makes a lot of sense for her.
It
Based on what I know, but you could dig into her and see what even
yeah.
what she thinks about it. Do you think that makes sense?
Yeah, I'm about to send something. This which will help us in our typing really well. I'm assuming you didn't read much because it's really long, or maybe you just skimmed through it. Octi, the Pokédex template thing. Are you familiar with that, or you haven't seen it at all?
The Pokedex?
Yeah, so I'm talking about like a band ENTP friendly Pokédex band template thing. I'll send you the. I'm assuming you didn't read it. I tagged you there, but I feel like it was too long and like you probably just didn't notice. So I'm sending it right now. So the reason I'm sending it is I'm gonna use it as a supplementary tool for typing you in Mr. Chins. You can go through all the descriptions, but what really matters is the part about morals. And to do that, I will just go through all the indices in the model in the Pokédex model, and a lot of them will be related to the last aspect, which is dark triad stances, the last categories. And in there, I can actually assess you based on each one and use that to type you for morals. But again, for the YouTube video, I'm just going to mention, I feel like it's really easy to type Octi for morals, but I will just test the indices anyway. It's kind of like rechecking your math solution for a problem you already like confidently know the answer for. Might as well just go through the solution anyway, which is like what I'm doing right now in an analogous way. So what we're about to do is I'm actually gonna go through everything and skip through some of the thing. Okay, so for example, I'm currently in the thing, reading, and obviously the first part's name, age, sex, basic, not gonna be relevant. Dating, not gonna be relevant. But stances definitely will be relevant. And Octi, feel free to interrupt me if you think I'm describing you wrong. I'm gonna assess you based on each of the stances. Typology, not related to morality, skipping that. Abortion,
I
I feel like.
think I think it would definitely be better if you come at it from a clean slate.
What do you mean with that?
Like as in kind of like any type of ideas you might have of me or my personality or stances and everything. Um like
Like asking
just coming
questions
at yeah,
rather than like assuming based on what I know about you. But the thing is, like for the
correct.
typing session, like I can do that, but at the same time, like they're like MRCHINS. They don't just to be like a 2 hour video. Like I can like extend it basically. Like we can have a part two, part three. I don't mind fully fleshing you out in every way, like every aspect. If you don't mind that at all, I don't mind that at all. So do you want that right now,
Yeah.
Akti? Perfect,
I think that
perfect.
would be the most accurate
Okay, I don't mind that at
result.
all.
Yeah.
You prefer that over like me like saying, "Oh, I know this about you. Can you confirm?" And then okay,
Yeah.
got you. So abortion. What are your stances on abortion, Akti?
Um, okay, so my stances on abortion is that I think that people should be able to abort even to like up to delivery.
All right, there you go. That's a very based one, if you ask me, because people are gonna get triggered about that. Usually, people say it's about like when conscious. Some people would say like some number, like months. Like I forgot. Like there's a trimester period. There's a period in the person's in the baby's time inside or the fetus, and obviously up to delivery is a very interesting one. People would not like that. A lot of people would not like that. Wait, does that mean Octi like if I'm like an 8 months old baby or like an 8 months old fetus? I don't even know if it's a baby or fetus at that point, but you wouldn't mind it getting killed.
If it's still inside of you, you can get rid of it.
What if it's fully developed but it's still inside me?
You can get rid of it.
What? I mean, I find that fascinating. I personally do not find. I do
That
not.
reaction's amazing, dude.
I do not find that disgusting or anything at all. Like I don't get me wrong. It's more like, damn, that's based of you, actually. Like, and you okay? You don't mind us being known on the YouTube video, right? You don't give a crap about what people think
I
about it.
don't care.
Okay,
No.
so damn. Wait, can you? I'm not even sure if it's relevant to typing anymore, but I'm just curious about it. Why? Why do you think it's fine to kill a fully formed baby inside if, if someone wants to kill it?
It doesn't even know that it's alive. It's chill.
Oh, so would you say it applies to like a baby that came out 1 second? It's 1 second old. Like it just came out of its mom's pussy like after a day or after a second.
I
Like literally
mean,
1 second, it just came out after 1 second.
it's like realistically, society doesn't even really know that you have a kid until it's like in school. It's like it's a really big gray area.
Oh, but you're very clear cut about it in terms of like if it's inside the pussy still. Like that is
Yeah.
that actually a big boundary for like the moment it comes out of the pussy is where it becomes a gray area, but anytime before it's fine to kill it.
Yeah.
So what about if its foot is sticking out? Is it okay to kill the foot or
It's
the whole
it's
thing?
fine. It doesn't even know what's happening. It's chill.
Okay. It only becomes a gray area if it fully comes out of the vagina.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very fast. What do you actually? I really wanted to ask Dan what his thoughts are on that. But obviously, with the typing, I need to keep going. And this is some really interesting stuff. Actually, Dan, do you think for the video asking for what you think just for entertainment value is interesting, or do you think I should just go continue?
So I think just continue with the typing because like I was thinking about it and I was like, this could basically just turn into a really fascinating ass conversation, right? With just a
Right,
million hypotheticals, which I'm
right,
all for, by the way.
yeah,
Then we'll just go on like a million tangents and shit. So I'm
right.
happy for you guys just to continue, to be honest.
So Dan, actually, I just have one question to and try to answer it as fast as possible.
Yeah.
So, do you think? Did you know Akli's answer? Like, did you know that she would say that already?
Yeah.
Like, you knew that about her.
Yeah, pretty much.
Very cool. And I'm sure we can talk about it in the future, and not in the video, but in a different conversation about all of
Yeah,
this.
absolutely.
So that's really cool.
Absolutely. Because I think this is super fascinating shit. Yeah.
It is. It is fascinating. I'm like excited right now. I'm like orgasming right now. But anyway, continuing, abortion is there. That's her stance on abortion. That's a very, I would say, ENTP way. I wouldn't narrow it down immediately to ENTP, but you can definitely say she's not an ISTJ most likely, unless she's just autistically into killing uh, babies that are inside.
Methodically just killing babies.
Yeah, like an ISTJ
Yeah.
would like it. More likely than not, she's gonna be an ENTP or narrow it down to who else could have an INTP maybe. Yeah, an INTP definitely could have that same interesting logic too. An
Yeah.
INTJ possible. But anyway, point is probability wise, it narrows it down to very few options in terms of abortion. Now let's proceed with the religion. Oh god. So what are your stances on religion, Akti? Actually, for efficiency, Akti, what if I propose what I think you would say, and then just you confirm a yes or no and fix what I say, or do you think
I I
you'd rather
think
talk
I
about it?
think I will end up answering a lot quicker.
Gotcha.
I
ADHD
think
moment.
that
Mm.
I think that anybody who truly heavily believes in any deity that has a very strong religious infrastructure involved
Yeah.
is very ignorant on the fact that we don't really know that what's really out there.
Yes.
I think like lately I've been getting into spiritualism a little bit on the concept of like energy
Yeah.
and how it can affect other people,
Yep.
but that's it.
I see. You're currently agnostic then?
Um, yeah, I also think that being fully atheist is also ignorant.
Right, right. I relate to you with that one. Okay, you're an agnostic, and you're still obviously gonna be moral in terms of you have these moral intuitions. Be nice to your friends. Be nice to decent, common people. Blah blah blah. But there you go. That's for religion. I think we can move on to the next one. Feel free, Dan, to pitch in if you think I feel like I need to flesh out more about certain stances or like topics. So like, oh, Ben, I think you should ask her about this. Either for
Yeah.
entertainment value or like actual typing value. So continuing,
Yeah, I got you, bro. I got you.
I think you agree. Religion, we can drop it now because it's very simple in
Yes.
this one.
Yeah, I think it's clear.
LGBT stuff, Akti, stances.
Um, I think people can fuck whoever they want. People can identify however they personally want.
Yeah.
However, I think that your identity, like what you feel comfortable with, it does not actually change what you are, right? So I think that if somebody feels like they are something different, the rules of society does not bend to that.
hmm
So that's it.
Next, gender roles, like masculine, well, feminine roles and stuff.
Um, I think that it's probably not a disorder, even though that's where I'm more so leaning, but it's more along the lines of I think it's sad. I think it's sad that you feel like you're fighting against your own biological makeup, to the point where it can be very depressing or you feel lost and everything. So I think that's definitely identity complications. The need to kind of potentially fit in, that's the results of people hardcore gendering or putting people into boxes because of genders, and then people don't feel like they fit in that, so now they feel like they have to choose. I actually very strongly feel that if there was no gender norms, there would be no, people transitioning to different genders.
I have a question. What about people that are, let's say, a dude, like a jacked dude who's hyper feminine? That's weird. This is a normal dude, not jacked, hyper feminine and like super caring and traditionally feminine, but he's very healthy about it in the sense that he's not. I don't know if this is even physically possible or if it's unlikely, but this person is healthy about it. He's not like going through dysphoria's negative effects, and he's embracing of the fact he has supportive people around him. If someone's like that, do you think it's still sad in a way, or do you think that's perfectly fine? Like if a guy is like that.
No, I feel like they're living their best life. They're vibing.
So you're more so talking about people who are going through some
I
negative
think it's
effects.
people that feel that they have to change their whole identity because they would fit in a box that society has created better because of that. Because technically, if you're comfortable 100% in your own skin, you don't have to be changing your identity.
Okay. I think we can move on to the next one, which is polyamory.
hmm
What do you think of polyamory? Thoughts on
Um,
polyamory?
I think that one's also very similar, where it's like if you feel comfortable with the freedom that it brings, if you feel there's certain people that feel more secure
Yep.
being very open. There's some people that feel like they have so much love to give that they feel like they're suffocating, just only being able to project that to the one person. Whereas there's a lot of people that can't fathom potentially being infatuated with more than two people or being sexually attracted to another person while they're into someone. So one of those different strokes for different folks type of thing.
Yep. Next one is phobia and ism. So this one is supposed to be like if you follow, that's a weird word. If you have any phobias or isms, so transphobia, racism, and
Um,
yeah.
any phobiums, like any fears,
I
or
don't
just
know.
something
I need
you're
to
really
clarify.
against?
Only the political phobias, like transphobia,
No,
cisphobia. None, no, none for ism as well. You're
none.
very libertarian slash kind of like just fair
Uh,
person. Not
I'm
libertarian. That's not the
opti-
right word.
I
That's not the,
have
that's the wrong word.
intense optimism. No, but no, not any type of phobia.
Mm, okay, okay. There you go. Thinking if I can ask another question about phobias and isms. I'm assuming anyone that has any of these phobias and isms, if you meet some of them, you're just gonna like not like them for that, depending on how much you care about the ism or phobia that they have, right?
I don't. I can't think of one.
Let's say racism is a classic one. Obviously, if someone's racist, you might
I
not like.
definitely have stereotypes towards particular races, and I definitely have
Oh,
some slight aversion towards certain particular races,
like
like
aversion? Did you say
front
aversion?
and
Aversion? Like,
yeah,
okay, gotcha. Move on.
a little bit. I do tend to profile a little bit, but it will never
Oh,
get in the way of me being able to vibe with someone
right.
or that perspective changing.
You should become more guarded, maybe, or like, careful. Is that like?
Um, there's just a slight more judgment there than usual.
So, do you mind giving an example, or is that too cringe, or like right now? Like, just an example of you doing those stereotypes, applying it to your interactions.
Um, like for example, in my culture, like Cubans and everything, we're not too fond of Mexicans and everything.
Never knew about that. I
We
didn't know that was a thing yet.
yeah,
Go on.
yeah, just within the whole community. Cubans very much have their nose up in their air because of like socialism. They're forced to take on a little bit more of an entrepreneur type mindset where we tend to see Mexicans a little bit more like they're just gonna have 7 kids and then they have to work like 2 factory jobs each,
Uh huh.
like, and then they have no drive or ambition to grow more than that. And then like that's obviously not the case, but it's like it's the type of thing where if we're like, yo, don't compare me to a Mexican type of thing, right? And that's like a culture thing. That's like
Okay.
something
I
that
see. I see. I see.
was instilled, yeah.
I have a question.
Um,
No, go on though.
yes.
I'll ask later after your thing.
Indians, ironically, are the second one. Um, but again, it's like,
It makes me fucking laugh. Yeah.
yeah. Again,
She
just
said.
kind
She said
of,
ironically. Then. Yeah. Anyway, go on. That's funny. Anyway.
yeah. It's like because again, all the scammers and everything that I've interacted that I definitely trolled. Working at a call center for many years, it's a rough spot. They're one of I think one of the most aggro, least understanding when it comes to trying to get stuff resolved in a business aspect. Even outsourcing, I've definitely outsourced different like billing companies and stuff like that. That were very Indian, and it's very like it's definitely warped a particular mindset for me in that
Oh,
sense.
I have a question.
Hmm. Yes.
Do you I was gonna think of a funny joke to Dan, like, Dan, like, oh, can I see your record to see your desktop if it has many like lists of people you've scammed, like credit card numbers? No, that was a joke.
What if I
Like,
do? Yeah. What if I on the fly I run a call center, bro? That's
yeah,
my
yeah.
real business.
But okay, a real question though is Akti, with the whole like, and the whole like Indians. It is relevant for morals, actually. I think slightly. Do you empathize with Indians in terms of like the eat or be eaten mindset they might be having, or like, not even that actually, more like living in poor conditions, and therefore they kind of have this culture of like hustling against a lot of first world victims. Do you
So
empathize in a weird way, or not really? Do you think they should just like
I
have a crappy job that's actually safe, not
no.
safe?
So I'm from the streets, right? I grew up in the ghetto. I grew up in intense poverty. I very much respect the climb and the cunning attitude that you have. Sometimes you do have to fuck people over. That's how you survive and everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit deeper. I think it stems a lot from like the culture. The culture is not fair to its own people in its essence, and people very much stand by it, stand by like the religion. And India is like one of the most like miserable countries that you can almost visit. It's so dangerous and everything else. It's like everything that kind of embodies it, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's very self-fulfilling in a
Mm-hmm.
way. And
That's
yeah.
cool. That's a cool ass answer. It's good for the moral typing. You're definitely not an ICJ, for example, because of that answer. Like, oh, like an ICJ Dan would be like, like, that's still bad. You shouldn't be robbing, some UK grandma's
Nah,
credit card details.
nah. I don't care. Listen, I love marketing and everything, and that's like one of like the darkest jobs you can do too.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
Oh.
Okay. I love it. The next one's kind of vague ethics, so I'll need to like guide you into what I mean with it. I guess with ethics is like, what is your personal ethics? Is it very nuanced and long, or is it simplifiable into a few rules to follow, like Jordan Peterson 12 rules. No, anyway, yeah. How would you describe your
Um,
ethics in life? Personal ethics, but also I think your friends and people around you should follow as well if you care about that.
I think I definitely have my ethics is that I think everybody should be very understanding. I think people should be very self-aware, and I think that in the end of the day, it's try your do your best to not harm others and everything else, but you do have to protect your own happiness. You only have one life, and if you're very sacrificial to other people and you see yourself in a really bad spot, those people cannot get you out of it. You know, so you have to do what it takes. And yeah, it might potentially, leave some other people in a bad spot, but they're in charge of also protecting their happiness. Um, so I think that there's a balance of like doing your best not to step on anybody that you can, but also you know, having to always be very law abiding, going by every single set rule. It's just like, oh, you aren't allowed to sit on this rock just because the universe says so. It's like, don't be like that sheepish in a way. So I think that people can be very close-minded if they're extremely by the book.
Yep.
And I think
Jen Shapiro
that
moment.
right, you definitely have to adapt and feel what's right for you type of thing.
There's a balance. It's a spectrum, and there's like a healthy balance
Yes,
between take some
correct.
freedoms, but don't get too degenerate. And
Right.
yeah. I see what you're saying. Yep. That's pretty much similar to what I value, but that's for another conversation. I might actually type myself, like self-typing Mr. Shin session. I'm just talking to myself, like jerking myself off in front of a mirror. I could definitely do that myself. But we're here to talk about Octi, and that's her ethics, guys. And I'm sure that clarifies a lot about her moral attitudes. Now we're just on the last one, which is probably the heaviest one and the most nuanced and annoyingly complex is politics. What are your political values, Akti?
Um,
It's gonna be messed
I
up. Yeah, it's gonna be long. It's gonna be long. That's why it's messed up. Anyway.
So I'm honestly not too deep into the politics scheme,
Hmm.
but I do think one thing that I do find fundamentally irking is people who definitely want to keep more conservative views or traditional views in a world that's drastically changing and that we are forced to adapt. You cannot keep the same values, you cannot keep the same traditions, you cannot keep the same mindset
Yep.
in a world that's like changing. It doesn't make sense.
Hmm.
You know, where we were in the past was not always like the greatest spot. So I
Right.
definitely lean more towards that liberal progressing forward. We just have to
Hmm.
be very mindful of what makes sense. But
Hmm.
that's more so my political stance on it.
You just can't get too unhinged with the left as well. There's always the extremes of each side.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. You can't be too catering to everything, but it's like, with AI coming into the blues, with like the world getting a lot more unified because of the internet and everything else, things are just revolving at a rapid rate. We just kind of can't keep the same thing going.
Yeah. I'm glad. Like I'm glad so far with the stances thing is very like good for typing people. It seems I didn't even like know what. I mean, I kind of expected it to work really well, and it really did so far. I think I got a lot of about your morals based on it. So we're done with the stances, and now we can move on to other possible aspects. I'm gonna go through the miscellaneous descriptors right now. There's stuff like reading comprehension, cognitive empathy. Cognitive empathy is actually interesting for morals, but I feel like it's not necessary because you already explained the thing with Indians and their survival of the fittest, or trying to survive in their environment thing. So probably not gonna. I'm probably gonna skip cognitive empathy. Affective empathy is a good one. I think this is definitely something I should touch on next for morals. So, do you think, in terms of effective empathy, how would you describe your effective empathy? And I will define it for the YouTube video for now. It's just your ability to feel what others are feeling, or the nuance being cognitive empathy is more about understanding and knowing how others are feeling, but effective empathy is more about like feeling what other people are feeling. So,
Um, I struggle with empathy if I haven't actually gone through similar events myself.
so cognitive or
How,
affective or both?
what do you, okay, you lost me.
Which kind of empathy? Because there are two kinds. There's like understanding them, even if you don't experience what they're
Yeah,
experiencing, you could still understand them. Or is it more effective about
yeah.
feeling it?
So
Yeah.
So
so cognitive empathy is more about understanding. Like intellectually, you get where they're coming from, you get what they're going through.
Yep.
But effective empathy, from what Ben was saying, is where you feel their pain. That is kind
okay.
of the difference, right?
I can I I can always apply. cognitive empathy in no in any direction.
Good.
In fact, I'm probably overly understanding.
Yeah, I think it
Um,
applies to all of us in this VC. I noticed
yeah.
with ENTPs.
Now, effective empathy, I will struggle to even wrap my mind around what they could potentially be feeling,
Mm,
or how it can be traumatizing and everything if I have not gone through it myself. Luckily, I've gone through a lot. Um, and
luckily,
whatever else.
luckily.
Like
It's a very
in a
optimistic
way,
viewpoint, huh?
yeah.
I love that.
Um, yeah, I have gone through the ringer, so I can definitely relate with the grand majority of people and everything. But if there's a very unique situation, I I can't. Like I won't be able to do that effective empathy.
I'll give an example. What about DID, for example? Actually, people who, are familiar with DID
No?
or no? Oh, DID is the
Is that
dissociative identity
depersonalized?
disorder. Dissociative
Right.
identity disorder, which is like multiple personality disorder back then, but now they changed the name. So it's when people experience changes in their, how do you say this? Because of trauma, like usually CPTSD or complex PTSD when they were young, they repeated traumatic incidents. They end up having these multiple quote unquote personalities in their head. They're called alters, and they just kind of like have multiple personalities in their head. It switches randomly or with
So
triggers.
in my head, I'd be like, wow, that must suck. I'm glad I'm not going through that, and I have no idea what they're actually going through or feeling or anything.
Okay. So next question is, if your best friend, if your best
That's
friend,
funny as hell. I mean, that's exactly how I feel too, to be honest.
funny thing is, I met
That sucks.
I I have a friend from my server, like from 2021. His name is Yuki, and he has the ID. At least based on his story and also this behavior, his behavior. We would play League sometimes, and he would legit shift. He would have a personality alter changing during a League game or whatever. Like it was very evident based on his behavior. It didn't seem fake because it was happening consistently. Like you'd be too tired at that point if you were faking it. So I think I would,
Dude,
you know,
so like my Machiavellian ass, like just hearing that, I'll be like, that would be such a useful disorder to have. Like, not literally, but if
but
you could just pull that out of your pocket,
yeah,
man, that's fucking useful as hell, right?
yeah.
Imagine if you just got everyone to believe you had that shit. And on the fly, you can just flip into like whatever fucking personality you want. God damn.
Yeah, so that's
Didn't know
that
what he was
person.
doing for real.
So this
Yeah.
person's has the ID, and it was really interesting. But back to the thing, effective empathy. So what about OCTI? If your friend was going through a bad thing in their life, and but it was something really okay. I'll think of a relatable one and an unrelatable one. Let's say they got hit by a car, and now they're messed. Their brain. They're like, I don't know. They're in a lot of pain physically, and their brain got injured as well. How would you feel? Hell, with your friend experiencing that, like the really close friend.
I would definitely be there for them, like as much as I physically can. But the moment I realize it's now taking a turmoil or it's taxing on me, like to a point where now I'm struggling to function, I definitely have to pull back and find that
Mm,
middle ground.
okay. And would you feel what they're feeling? I don't know if that's the
Nope,
best way to ask it. You wouldn't.
nope.
What does it mean for you to even feel? Because the thing is, I would describe myself as like this as well. Like I don't think I have a lot of effective empathy. I don't feel bad about other people's suffering in general, but I don't feel what they feel either. But like I'm not a psycho about or
So like
anything. Yeah.
let's say like they broke their neck, right? Um,
Yeah.
if I'm gonna like be hugging them or if I have to shift them up to get help them get onto like the ambulance or whatever, I'm gonna be terrified of shifting them the wrong way. That's gonna cause them more pain, right? Like that levels I understand, but when it's like trying to imagine more or less or putting myself in that position, no. Um, yeah, yeah.
What could make you experience like well, feel what other people are feeling in terms of suffering?
Um,
Someone getting poked in the eye.
it would have to be a negative feeling that I had to carry quite a bit. So I'll give you two perfect examples. So let's say I stub my pinky toe in the corner of like a cabinet. That shit might feel like the world's ending. Like that shit's intense. That shit hurts, right? But that feeling, you get over it fairly quick. Like 5 minutes later, you're fine. And then if I see somebody else stubbing their toe on that same cabinet, like an hour later, and they're like yelling to the top of their lungs in my head because I already forgot the feeling, I'm gonna be like, bro, it probably ain't that deep. Calm down, right? um, but
That's
If I'm
ruthless right there.
Yeah, but if I went through a breakup and it's like a hurt that lasted for months and months and months, I understand the lingering feeling from it because it definitely impacted me more. So if somebody else is going through like a breakup, I get it. I get that effective empathy pretty strongly.
Oh, you said breakup? You said breakup, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Breakup. Okay, I have another question. I'm sure you remember there was a person named Cynthia in the server
Mhm.
who was calling someone fat, like a girl and fat in the server. Do you think that makes you feel effective empathy as well? I remember you kicking Cynthia because of it, or is it just you like caring about the vibes of the server, not actually feeling effective empathy for it?
I didn't care.
So it's just cognitive empathy. It's just like just knowing, okay, this person bad for the server. Okay,
Exactly.
gotcha.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, there you go. Do you think I can ask her? I should ask her more questions about effective empathy, Dan, or do you think it's fine?
No, I think it's pretty clear, man. I get
Okay,
the feeling that all three of us are like identical with this shit
yeah, I
because I feel
agree.
exactly the same. Yeah.
Mhm, mhm. Yep, yep, yep. Okay, we can move on then. Adversity quotient not related to morals. Politeness not related to morals. I'm just reading through everything. Andrew Tate index. Let me think if that was the morals. I mean, you probably just dislike Andrew Tate's toxic parts, and then you like his non-toxic parts if they're really useful for society. That's probably what you would say. Is that true, Akti? Andrew Tate's
Yeah.
stuff, you probably
So
have that attitude.
I admire Andrew Tate's marketing. I
Mm,
admire how much pressure he puts on a
Good stuff.
situation. Man, like I
Yeah.
just watched a video today and it happened to be Andrew Tate, and he was like selling his like make money fast type of thing, and it was this whole video on like the world is ending. So if you are pretty much planning on going to school for 4 years and getting a degree and hope that you get that degree and make money by the time you're 35, bad. The world's changing too fast. You need something that's going to start making money today. If not, you're going to get into that slave mindset. And he was like putting the pressure on. He was like very degrading with it, which is like
mhm,
very opposite, right?
mhm.
Where most marketing is like very uplifting. It's like, this is going to be so amazing for you. But his is like, you're dumb and you're gonna be stranded and
And
nobody's gonna be able
yeah,
to
yeah,
help you and
I
you're not gonna
remember
be
that.
in a like good
Yes.
position. Yeah. And I'm just like, this is gold.
I
This
have
is
a
so
question.
good.
Or I have something to bring up.
Yeah.
I just remember the details as well. The way he does it, I remember like watching a documentary like talking about it, I think, or some YouTube essay about it, and like the way he does it, Andrew Tate is like very very smart because he puts the pressure on you as you said, but at the same time it's like to nuance that he gives you like a now or never kind of dilemma where like if you don't do it now, then your
So
life is gonna be in ruins
yeah.
forever.
So
Yeah.
he definitely uses like that fear-based and that scarcity tactic that you sometimes like
Yes.
yeah, you see so much in marketing, which is like
Yes.
limited time only, but he
Mhm.
amps it up to an extreme and it's very intense and it's like buy tonight because you don't know what happens tomorrow. Like this is money that you would
Yes.
spend like less than
Your
on
life
lunch
is
money
over if you don't
yesterday.
do this. Your life
Yeah.
you'll be a loser forever
Yeah.
if you don't subscribe to my
Yeah, but
Hustlers University. Mhm.
he's very quick and very concise and very clear and very no nonsense. It's beautiful. I think it's gorgeous. His actual views, are like, I mean, everybody universally thinks like this guy's bonkers, but
Mhm.
I gotta respect the dude when it comes to that. There is
Yeah.
some admiration there.
Mhm. Mhm. Very smart. This guy's very smart. Actually, in terms of MBTI typing, this is kind. I don't know if it's relevant. It's a quick topic though. So it's fine. What do you think is MBTI is? Whatever system you follow for typing people Octi.
Um, very SE, very SE dom, whatever that tends to fall under. I
ESTP.
think actually,
ESTP then.
uh,
Is he more
yeah,
TE or SE for you? TE or SE?
I feel like he's definitely like FI, SE, TE,
Or
like something along those
you think his
lines.
TI
Yeah,
is
I don't
good
know,
too?
but
What if I told you that he was a professional kickboxer?
Yeah, he is.
yeah, SE.
So ESTP then, most
Yeah.
likely,
Yeah,
with a really good TE as well. An ESTP with really good
very.
TE.
Hmm. Yeah.
And FI has
I
some
think
FI.
SE can almost look like TE in a weird way.
Mhm.
Like they're different functions, but you can kind of like people who are very SE dom can really get a lot of shit done, right? Especially if they got good TI backing it. It's like both of those together, you can really make shit happen.
There you go. For Andrew Tate Index. Karen Index, not sure the element. Bias, not sure. BDSM openness, not really related to morality. Rights, really, no, 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 no. Condescension. Text chat, tolerance for degenerate conversations. Oh, okay. Okay, so what is your tolerance? I'm pretty sure I know this, but like this is for the typing. Maybe I don't actually know. Tolerance for degenerate conversations. How much do you tolerate about degenerate conversations, Akti? Like what kinds of conversations make you mauled? What kinds can you like not give a shit about? I'm assuming most of them are whatever for you, but you can talk
Um,
about it now.
when it comes to like morality, Jijen, I don't mind. I do think that degenerate conversations can end up being very tacky and very juvenile very quickly. I think it can just be like if people are just being overly vulgar, if people are being like overly like, oh, I just like sucking dick nonstop every day, yada, yada, like not, and that's all they like just spam type of thing. It's just like it's tacky, right? There's not like any like layered jokes in there. There's not like any depth there, right?
Uh-huh.
It's like even when people troll, I feel like there's a lot of surface level trolling that's just like so whatever.
Hmm.
I feel like when it's laced with a little bit of like more intelligent humor and
And
everything, oh,
irony and
that's like
stuff.
peak. It's so good. It's so
Meta irony,
beautiful.
especially meta
Yeah.
irony. But go on.
Correct. Yeah. So when it comes to that like middle school-esque, just like degeneracy, just like lashing out for no reason or just for the sake of being loud and for the sake of being weird, it's just I get annoyed very quickly.
Next question is, I'm assuming for degenerate, like you get annoyed by stuff, but like in terms of morals, you don't really give a crap as long as you're not.
No,
Yeah, again, the whole
no.
thing you mentioned earlier. Yeah, I'm assuming. What about degenerate lifestyles? It's probably legit, just like easy to identify because of your thing about polyamory and other things. Like, same thing, probably. Which can you confirm that degenerate lifestyles that you don't really give a crap as long as it doesn't, it just aligns with your values and stuff.
Like other people's degenerate lifestyles?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. As long as yeah, exactly. Other people having degenerate lifestyles.
Dude, I mean honestly, I respect a good hustle. Like I respect I think I enjoy, the climb. Even if it's just like as weird as it sounds, like, I make like a really amazing living just like being a pimp, selling heroin and stuff. And they know how to do it without getting caught, and they know all the perfect loopholes, and they know like how to work the system, and they know how to not get in trouble and not be in danger. I'm like, yo, respect. Okay. So definitely
With
it doesn't affect
lifestyle,
me.
I was also referring to other things like for example, living in having a polycule or something in let's say a house in somewhere in what's a good place people usually hold them in. I don't know, Epstein's Island or something. No, not Epstein's Island. Like just some place where you can like live a degenerate like comfortable life. That's fine for you as long as again like your it follows your very minimalist or like very minimalist take on it, right? Like okay, do whatever
Yeah.
you want as long as people are not hurt. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Not yeah. Okay, let's proceed with next. Romantic, not really. Ethical clarity and consistency. Okay, this one's important for morals. So I think you seem like someone who's very ethically clear about yourself and consistent. So nothing really going on there, right? How would you describe your ethical clarity and consistency? Or do you want me to explain what I mean with this? Because it's kind of vague. Or you think do you get it?
Uh yeah, explain it a little bit.
So ethical clarity and consistency is like how clear you are to yourself about what your values or what your morals and ethics are. At the same time, how consistent you are with following them. Even if you're clear about it, you can still end up contradicting a lot of it because of cognitive dissonance.
I would say that there's a lot of things that annoy me, but when it comes to actual ethics and morals, they're very fluid.
Makes
They're very
sense.
fluid, and it's very easy to change my mind if it makes sense. It's not very little do I have like a hill that I'm gonna die on. And
Yeah.
then yeah, like Danny even mentioned this, like certain things that really should have changed my perspective or view on the world, or things that should have traumatized me, doesn't traumatize me. But then there's little things that do annoy me, due to little annoyances here and there that doesn't make sense. So it's a little bit chaotic.
Right. Makes sense. Next one is let's see. We're almost done with the model M. Dark triad stances. So first one is, do you believe in human rights? And I remember asking you about this actually, so I already know what you would say, but important for the typing still. I have to define human rights for the video. Which is gonna be
Yeah,
an,
I already know. I
I
already
know, I
know.
know, I know, I know, I know you know. But like for the video, I'm gonna need to like define it. It's kind of gay. Hold on. Human rights. How do I even find it? Maybe deontology. I'm searching keywords in the server so I can show the definition of human rights for the video. Deontology. Shit. Okay. Uh, okay. So OCTI. I will just. Can you like talk about your answer now? I will just copy paste the definitions in the group chat for the
Sure.
YouTube video. But you can talk about your answer now and whether you remember my definition. So you just
Yeah.
How would you answer the question?
So I actually don't really agree with the overall definition of what a human right is.
Okay.
I think that there's only one single true human right, which is freedom.
Hmm.
Freedom to live your life how you want. But if I remember correctly, the original human right is that everybody be treated fairly and they have access to the bare necessity needs to survive. Um, I just don't agree with that. I think that if, let's say, Joe over here starts growing carrots, he's the only guy selling carrots for whatever reason. Now this is the only veggie in the village. I don't think Joe is forced to have to like sell his carrots to pretty much everyone just so that they can have their nutritional needs, right? It's like if you also make like a huge medical discovery that can cure something crazy, I don't think that people are forced to have access to that or whatever else. So what you're saying is in a way that you're forced to services that other people provide or society is providing, um, just because it's your needs need to be met. And I think that all those needs being met, if we're talking almost like a utopia level. I think that nobody should really be forced to become a slave. Nobody should be forced to have their freedom taken away. But that doesn't mean that you also have access to all the services that'll make your life better off rip. To me, it doesn't make sense. So to me, like like internet soon is gonna have to be a human right type of thing. Um, and I think it's like, oh well, you have to be able to have access to internet or whatever else. It's like I think it's a little bit insane. And I think I'm pro having like free healthcare. I'm pro having all these things accessible. But I think it's more like a gratitude thing. I think it's like it's amazing that we have access to this. It's amazing that we've gone such a long way. It's amazing that I'm able to get my hands on all these things. But it's more like a thank God rather than I it belongs to me. It's owed to me type of thing.
Makes sense. There we go for human rights. Let me see the next one. Okay, the next dark triad stance is: would you bully bullies? Or how do you feel about people who bully bullies, and would you do it yourself?
Um yeah. Hell yeah. I bully bullies all the time. Um
Senora Mami.
I
Anyway, yeah.
yeah. I think fundamentally if a person is trying their best and they actually are very caring and they're trying to project good energy, I would struggle to bully them or whatever else. But if they don't fall under that box, it's fair game.
Makes sense. And then there's also the the hug box hypothetical that I will need like 5 seconds to find for the YouTube video. And I think you've answered it, but I will need to ask you for the typing session. Hug box hypothetical. There you go. Copying for the thing. Shit, I'm not making a thread. No, 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 no. I'll send it in the group chat right now. So there's this hypothetical. I'll make the YouTube video. People watching read it. But for this one, your answer was yes, yes. You will bully the, or not bully. You will say mean things to the 50 girls,
If
right?
I remember correctly, I said that this like what is this like? This is $100,000. I would literally do it for $500.
Hmm.
That's
And you would,
easy.
and if you could keep doing it, you would keep doing it, right? Like to get easy money.
If it'll stack, heck yeah.
Hmm. I'm not gonna read it right now. I'm just gonna go like I'm gonna for the YouTube video. Just the people watching, whoever you are, just read the thing. I'm scrolling through slowly, and you can pause it. Blah blah blah. Anyway, that's for that hypothetical. We can really see how much of an ENTP is Octi is so far, but we're almost done. Next one is bullying snowflakes anonymously for survival. Oh wait, that's exactly it. Hug boxing. Okay, next is the last one, which is: can you handle hyper disturbing hypotheticals? So when I say hyper disturbing, like super like borderline illegal. That's I don't know how to describe it. Like for example, I don't know if I can say it for a YouTube video. It might be too cringe, but some very like I don't know how to describe it for the YouTube video. Maybe Dan can help me or Octane. Like imagine like a hypothetical that like if you ask it to like even like some ENTP servers, they still might not like it. Like it's too degenerate to even like be tolerated by people. But you can definitely ask it to friends though if they're super open minded. But it's really
Yeah,
hard to
the
talk
kind of
about that.
shit that would get you canceled, basically, if you were to do it like really publicly.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
yeah.
good with that.
Oh, there you go. You're done. We're done. Sorry with the human rights thing. I don't know with the moral thing. Like we have a pretty solid idea of how you would respond to morals dilemmas and how you're developed your moral stances, and therefore I think you're an ENTP. Let me just slightly explain why. You obviously don't have a sensor way of approaching things in general about morals. I mean, a sensor would be more grounded about it and like what's the word? Like they're more traditional usually about it, and feeler, and you're not traditional at all with your morals. Feeler, not really. You don't have that like effective empathy that I associate with a lot of feelers. Um, J, uh, are you a J about it? No, you're not anal at all. You're not like you're as much as possible. You want to be like everyone can chill as long as you're not too harmful for society or hurting people. So it's a very P way as well. I'm just using letter typing here, but I'm sure you can also find an argument in cognitive functions there. But it is more like a vibe thing. Like there's a vibe I associate with types. That's the limitation of Mr. Chin's. Dan. It's like, yeah, it's like vibing people. And don't get me wrong, it's not too bad
I
though
think that's
because
better, bro.
it is
I think
better.
that's so much better, honestly.
It is
Yeah,
better, but there's
because
also no. You go first. You go first. Yeah.
like, dude, the whole like scientific thing, all these other motherfuckers are trying to do with it, it's a dead end. It's not gonna fucking work because to do it scientifically, you're gonna need about 6 million different fucking personality types. And that's the problem every single one of these fucking like typology systems get when they try and get too like precise. They realize they just have to get deeper and deeper and deeper. The vibe check makes so much more sense because it's like that's pretty much what we're doing anyway, right? When
Yeah.
it comes to like the patterns of a personality,
Yeah.
the vibe is like just the quickest way to do it. So I think it's so much better.
I think there's two things I want to mention as well. Like something just to add to what you said. You said 6 million something personalities. So I was doing something.
Yeah.
I computed something and I talked to I talked to Molly about it or Gorgon about it. Like the how many types you could get if you combine Enneagram and MBTI. So I was like thinking of the possibilities. Like it's kind of like in mathematics. It's fuck. What's the name of it?
Is it just 9 by 16 or is it a deeper equation?
It's a different one. Like I can try to find it right now, but I'll send it to you later in DMs. But it's the computation I went for was it's actually a combinatorics thing in math. Like it's you can compute it using combinatorics, and I got you just multiply a bunch of numbers obviously in this one. It's like 16 personalities, 16 already, and then 9 for Enneagram. But the problem with Enneagram is you also have to consider tri-types, and I'm not sure how balls deep you guys are there, but in tri-types, there is a thing where you get 3. Actually, you should know because you're typed by Gorgon. So 3, there are 3 things, and then one of them is the most dominant, and then the second most dominant number, and the third one is the least dominant. So there is going to be some variations there for the 9. So there's like a number like associated like there are 3 options for each. So 3 times 3 times 3. Then you have to shuffle them as well to determine which one's the most dominant. There's a number you can, I think, 3 times 2 or something. And then there's instinctual variants as well, where there's also stacking. There's an there's a blind variant, and then there's also dominant, and there's a middle variant. And then finally, is there more? Oh yeah, there's also wings. Oh, don't forget about wings, by the way. You're gonna have like a main enneagram with a wing, but you can also have a wing for each of the sub. So, the 3. So for example, if I'm a 731 for tri type, I have a wing for the 3 and the 1 as well. I'm a 1 wing. What am I? 1 wing 2 or 9? I'm not sure. And then 3 wing 2, not a 4 because I don't have that 4ness. And then 7 wing 6. So there's so many combinations, and the computation I got was like 2 million something. Then like 2,200,000, I think. 2
Yeah,
million.
right.
2
So it's
million
like pretty
200,000.
much, yeah. You
Yeah.
really will get like millions and millions of personality types. Exactly. So it's like I just think the quick vibe check just works so much better. And I
Yeah.
think what you're getting for OCTI right now makes total sense.
And what I want to add to that as well, I forgot, is the thing with the vibe check thing is the really beautiful thing about it is I can also write formal or semi-formal descriptions for each vibe, kind of like explaining the archetype and how it works in the vibes you could get about word associations, like what is associated with an ENTP in terms of morals. Oh, probably dark triad traits, probably like Machiavellianism. Those are some words you can use, but it's still not very limiting as one might feel with the way Lamb Sauce or Adele would do it. Like it's not limiting at all. It's really a useful tool because it's not gonna be anally restrictive about typing people.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, dude, this is just a thought that I just had, but I'm pretty sure this is the truth. I think the main reason why a lot of these guys are trying to go around saying it's like scientifically valid is purely for the fact that it'll make more people believe in it.
Oh,
Not because it's actually scientifically valid at all. I think it's literally just a marketing trick.
Damn.
Just to fucking convince impressionable people. That's it.
And I'm
So
sure.
if you can make it seem like it's
Go on.
subjective, people are gonna listen more, even though it's fucking exactly the same shit as just faith-based, beliefs.
Yeah.
But if you can say it's like scientifically proven or whatever, you're gonna get more people believing it.
Yeah, and I'm sure one thing that it's kind of like a trade-off. One thing you like about Mr. Chins is it's honest about itself. It's not gonna market itself
Yeah.
as like the way people.
Although you could, man.
I could though.
I'm
That's the
totally
weird thing.
happy for you to do
I
that.
could. I
Yeah.
could definitely use
Yeah.
some marketing tricks to like make it more palatable for
Yeah,
like
dude.
people for sure. But right now,
I
as you may
think,
know,
although, yeah,
go ahead. Yeah.
I was gonna say, Octi and I would be like, yeah, dude, you totally should fucking, do
Yeah.
it all the way and trying
Yeah.
to convince people it's legit.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's legit, man, but
Yeah, the thing with Mr. Chins is it's honest, and it's still the beautiful thing about it, and I'm sure one thing you enjoy about it is it seems so fun and useful. And those are the two things that I judge MBTI systems on. Like people with typology systems, the thing that you really often have, usually people don't realize it, but subconsciously what we value in typology systems are those two things, fun and useful. And if you apply to Adele systems, MTI, to astrology, typology, conventional ones, a lot of them are fun, but they're not as really useful considering the amount of confusion that people get out of that. It's more like
yeah,
just
I didn't think it is, man.
yeah. You can definitely say it's generally not useful, but with my thing, it seems very useful, and I might even make a YouTube video explaining
Exactly. And you can
the
make it
model.
useful, yeah.
Yeah, and
But
it's fun.
having said that, man, I should let you finish Octi rather than
I know I was
this poor
actually.
sweetheart needs to go to bed very
Oh
soon.
no, the reason
Yeah.
I was elaborating on those things right now, in like a more in a more NE ways because I think I kind of want to like end it here for now for the video basically.
Gotcha,
So
gotcha.
it's basically gonna be a 6-part video, or something close to that.
I love it. Okay.
It's like we're done with Model M. We have now determined Octi's morality, and now it seems like Dan. Like I underestimated how long it would take. I said like an hour for everything, right? But turns out it might actually be an hour per
Dude, I thought
each
this was
one.
gonna be like 5 minutes. Yeah, because with your typing of everyone else,
Yeah.
I guess you did it based on your impression of them.
Yeah, it's not like
Whereas with Octi,
it's
you're
not like a
going
conversation.
deep.
It's not a dialogue. It's not like a psychiatrist level. Like, yeah. So that's why it's short for those.
What if you did Octi? Like, I don't know what Octi wants. Like, I don't know what she wants, babe. But
I can do it after the video if she wants like
Ben
a quick
could
one.
do the
I can do a
5-minute.
quick one. I can
Yeah.
do a quick one after this video. Like legit, I can just shit and like think about Octi's personality, and then like done. But like I think
You'll get
Octi
it.
probably wants both or something. Like a deeper dive and a shorter session, or like me just thinking about Octi in the bathroom, which it sounds weird, but yeah.
Sounds hot, man. Sounds hot. Yeah.
But so Octi,
Vibe.
do you have anything to say, Octi, like about your typing for morality right now?
No,
What have you
sounds
got
about
to
right.
say for yourself?
Are you
That sounds
satisfied?
about.
Or,
I am. Wait, why is my mic not working? Hello?
I can hear you.
Oh, we got you. No, we
can
got
hear
you.
Hello?
Yep.
Okay, my
Were you
light
saying
isn't getting
shit?
great. No, I'm
Oh.
just now saying stuff.
Okay.
No, I'm pretty satisfied with the results.
Okay.
For when it comes to morality.
The results so far. Anyway, yeah. Would you like me to do the quick 5-minute thing, or would you rather I go
Sure.
dive deep? Like no, not now. What I mean is like 5-minute thing after the video. I'm not gonna do it during the video, but or do you want me to just like do you want the suspense of like not knowing, and then like waiting for the
We
next?
can do the
Each happen.
5-minute thing.
Okay, I'll do it after the video.
Okay.
After the VC, and then what else is there? Yeah, you guys want to say anything else before I end the video? This was a really good video. I think people are gonna watch it probably in the server. Yeah, they're gonna be like, oh, I want to learn about Octi's morality so I can know how to suck her dick, how to suck Octi's dick,
I got
how
one thing
to
to
do
add.
stuff. Go on, Dan. Yeah.
Yeah, I got one thing to add is that I'm a bit of a racist as well. Like, not massively right. So
Take
this
that
is
out of
how I view
context.
race.
Take that out of context right now,
And
guys.
the weird
Clip
thing
it.
is,
No,
the
sorry.
weird thing is, like, I'm also kind of racist to Indians too. But I think I'm slightly racist to everyone in the sense that I view race as almost like a brand, right? And we've all got associations with particular brands just based on like what we've got throughout life or the experiences we've had throughout life, right? All the associations and shit we have with this particular race. You know what I mean? So like I actually have shitty experiences with Indians and Chinese people in particular. Like more than anyone else. But to me that just creates it just means that my stereotype, my first impression is kind of filtered through that. But as soon as an individual character like proves that they're like worth talking to, they're cool, they're fun, they got a good vibe, whatever it is, then I'm no longer like racist, right? It's just that's the first impression I've got. Where
I
it's
love
like
that.
they got a bit of a bar to jump over, as opposed to let's say anyone else where they don't really have much of a bar to jump over. So I'm kind
Yeah,
of like that too, and it's weird because I'm kind of like that with
I
Indians, even though I
really.
have
Mhm.
some Indian blood in me. Yeah, which is
Yeah.
kind of odd, but
Yep.
even both my parents are like, "Yo, don't trust Indians," and I'm just laughing. I'm like, "Yeah, I
I,
know."
I wanted to add two things about that. So one thing is my mom is when I was young, she unironically told
Yeah.
me that Chinese people do not have souls or something, like or something really like messed
Yeah,
up.
yeah,
And
my
like
parents say shit like that too, which is funny
yeah,
as fuck. Yeah.
yeah. And then over time, because in my university in the Philippines, it's like a really prestigious, rich university, and for rich people. But I'm not
Yeah.
rich myself. Like I have a scholarship and stuff. So like in my university, like a lot of people are like on the. Because Chinese people are everywhere. Right? They're just everywhere, dude. You go
Yeah,
anywhere. So like in
yeah,
my university, there's a huge Chinese culture. Lots of Filipino Chinese people, and a lot of Chinese people I met there for sure. Even dated one recently, like in the most recent ex I have is Chinese Filipino. So
yeah.
like a lot of Chinese exposure to them. It's like okay, yeah, my mom is retarded. Like of course Chinese people do not have Chinese people not having
Yeah,
souls is extremely like not only is it obviously offensive, but it's just like not helpful to. We could apply that more to like barbarians in like hundreds of years ago, but like
yeah, totally, totally.
not
It's very
yeah
tribalistic, right? Like, that's why
yeah.
racism exists. It's because 'cause we're wired to be tribal,
Hmm.
and there's good reasons for that, is that you have to make quick judgments about people for your own safety and your own survival and shit. So, like, we're literally wired to kinda be racist. So, I get it, and, like, I mean, I kind of am too. It's just I definitely think that people, like, once they kind of overcome that first impression and you kinda get an idea and, like, a feel for who they are,
Yeah.
then I don't think I'm really racist. I
I
think you have to be pretty retarded to be racist even after you know someone, right?
yeah, yeah. I actually, yeah, I wanted to mention that, like, for myself, as someone who meets a lot of people from diverse backgrounds online, I think I've kind of like
Yeah.
unintentionally trained myself to be very accepting and like understanding
Yeah,
and tolerating of people no matter where they're from. So I tend to be more, and obviously all of us here being people who talk to people on Discord, we kind of like get used to this dynamic of seeing people only from a screen and having those avatars. People have avatars. They have
yeah.
like it's not really easy to. We're not gonna see people from in terms of like how normally it happens in society, which is like their face and their body like that. So we're
Visual. Yeah,
usual
exactly.
Discord, like people that are on Discord, there's like an unintended effect of them becoming more I guess understanding or like open because they're kind of forced to like look at people in terms of
Yeah.
in
You
terms
just
of their
get their
personality.
vibe.
We tend to like
Exactly,
we're
exactly.
forced to measure people's worth or like value in our lives based on not on their shallow details but really their what they have to offer in conversation because that's what Discord is.
Right.
It's about like what
Yeah.
people's personality is, and that's why a lot of people tend to e-date and like e-sex and then only think about the personality and like and then they don't really know what they don't realize they might not actually have physical
Yeah.
chemistry, and that's when it gets cringe. There's people
Yep.
like that like suffer from that, and they get easily attached to people on very like, oh, I love your personality because like, oh yeah, hyper, I feel romantic attraction with you even though I don't know how you look like, and therefore, which is cool, right? Yeah, but like of course people forget looks matter too. Sexual chemistry matters. So unless
Yeah.
they're hyper cognizant of that already, there will be some problems they will experience if they don't if they're not aware of like the multi-layered approach we should be taking in relationships, which is also think about romance,
Totally.
looks, and chemistry, physical chemistry. Um,
You guys better be 10s out of 10s, otherwise we can't fuck.
it's a funny thing. I actually have a story to tell you about that because I was having an interesting conversation with someone about that. I'll tell you about it Dan later. But the next thing
Yes.
I will mention to you is just a quick one. Like the racism thing you mentioned. So I've met like four French people on Discord so far. I don't for the YouTube video. I wanted to be clear. I'm not racist against French people or anything. It's more like a experience thing. I experienced four people on Discord. I've met four of them, and they have like a 25% win rate. You know, the French people are just so used to taking L's at this point, but even in this story of mine, they're still gonna take an L. Oh, there's only a 25% win rate for like French people not being retarded in my conversations. So the four people I've met, French people I've met on Discord, three of them were like retarded in their own way. Like I'm not gonna explain what they did, but essentially they were all like childish or like immature or like weird. They're just really unfun to talk to. But there's a fourth person named Butad who's in the server. You guys know him. He's really cool. He's like not the kind of French people that I'm used to in terms of like my limited sample size. So it's like a really interesting thing I noticed. Like, well, how come the French people I've met are like that? Like, is there like some cultural thing going on, or like French
Yeah.
people that go to Discord tend to have these shut-in qualities, or
So
like yeah.
what would have happened, Ben, if you hadn't met Boutard, is that you would tell your kids that French people don't have souls, and it would just perpetuate the whole fucking thing, right?
Yeah, yeah. Um,
Because,
so
dude, if I have kids one day, I'm telling them that Indians and Chinese people don't have souls. Like, don't fucking trust them. The worst of the worst, right?
I can't. That was too funny. Yeah, that's good. But anything else you want to say, both of you, lovely people, before I end the video?
I'm good.
I just want to say that both of you are lovely. I think you're both fantastic. I think you're both beautiful. I think you have beautiful souls. I think you two are like my favorite people I've ever met in all of history. And you're both wonderful, and you're both smart, and you're both beautiful.
And I have bigger
Okay.
tits than you, Dan. By the way, my tits are bigger than everyone else in the server.
Wait, I'm taking that one. My titties get. I should start wearing a bra or something. With the amount of cleavage I show off, bro.
Yeah, but I have bigger tits than everyone else in the server, unfortunately for you, Dan. So that's just what I am. But
Okay. Okay.
anyway, thank you for watching this really nice video. Goodbye, guys. Last words, guys. Last words. Penis, balls, penis, cum,
Yeah.
Racism.
Dicks, cum, shit, titty,
pre-cum,
asshole,
Bye.
and
All right.
yeah, dude, I just got cockblocked. I just got cockblocked. I was gonna call the viewer
Say it
beautiful.
again. I was gonna
I called
end.
you guys
I had a
beautiful.
brain
Let the
fart
viewer.
moment. I was gonna end the recording, but instead I ended. I left the call. So it's really oh
You
god.
ended the call. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go on. Say it again. Whatever you're
Okay.
saying.
Okay. Well, what do you mean? Is it recording?
It's still recording. It's still recording.
Okay. Then the viewer is beautiful. Like I said, you two are beautiful, but the viewer is beautiful too. The most beautiful person I've ever seen in my life. Okay.
Whoever
Okay,
is
I'm good.
watching, please be careful all the time. I love
Yeah.
you. Bye bye.